over the mountains of the Hindu Kush in Afghanistan, dismembered by the impact. Why? Because Pakistani officials demanded it. They didn't want bin Laden's body DNA tested by multiple international organizations. They didn't want scientists proving he'd been a prisoner for years, kept in poor health, dependent on his captors. The evidence had to disappear. So who's telling the truth? The Pentagon or Seymour Hersh? Let's look at the evidence. Point 1. Pakistan's response. The official story claims Pakistan was completely blindsided by the raid, that the U.S. violated Pakistani sovereignty without warning. The Pakistan was furious about the operation. But here's what's strange. Pakistan's response was muted, almost suspiciously so. Yes, they issued statements condemning the violation of their airspace, but there were no serious diplomatic consequences, no real retaliation. The U.S.-Pakistan relationship remained largely intact. For a country that had just been invaded by American forces, Pakistan's reaction was remarkably restrained, almost as if they knew it was coming, almost as if they'd agreed to it. The Abbottabad Commission, Pakistan's official inquiry into the incident, came to a devastating conclusion. Pakistan's military and intelligence agencies had suffered a collective failure that enabled bin Laden to hide in the country for years. That report was immediately classified by the Pakistani government, buried, kept from public view. In 2013, Al Jazeera obtained a leaked copy, and what it revealed was damning. Evidence that Pakistani intelligence had been protecting bin Laden, that he hadn't been hiding, he'd been held. Pakistan tried to suppress the report, and to this day, the full contents remain classified. Point 2. The courier story. The official narrative hinges on tracking a courier, Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti, who led the CIA to bin Laden. But multiple journalists have questioned this account. Carlotta Gall of the New York Times reported that Pakistani intelligence knew about bin Laden's presence and was protecting him. Her sources inside Pakistan's government told her the courier story was a cover, a way to give the U.S. plausible deniability. And here's the problem. The CIA claims they tracked this courier for years, surveilled him, followed him to the compound, but they never photographed bin Laden, never recorded his voice, never got definitive proof he was actually there. That's strange. If you're conducting intensive surveillance for months, if you've established a safe house with clear lines of sight to the compound, how do you never confirm your primary target? Team 6 conducted a daring raid into Pakistan, killed Osama bin Laden in a firefight, recovered valuable intelligence, and eliminated the world's most wanted terrorist. Case closed. Mission accomplished. Don't ask questions. But the questions remain. Why did Pakistan's response to the raid seem so restrained? Why was the Abbottabad Commission report immediately classified? Why has almost none of the treasure trove of intelligence been released? Why were no photographs of bin Laden's body ever made public? And most importantly, why does Seymour Hersh's alternative account, based on sources inside the intelligence community, make just as much sense as the official story? The Pentagon has never directly addressed Hersh's allegations. They've never refuted the specific claims. They've simply dismissed his reporting as false and continued repeating the official narrative. But here's the thing about Black Ops missions. They're called Black Ops because they exist in the shadows, because the details are classified, because the public is told only what the government wants them to know. Sometimes that's necessary. National security requires secrets. Some operations can't be discussed without compromising sources, methods, or future capabilities. But sometimes, maybe often, the classification isn't about protecting the mission. It's about protecting the reputation of the people who ordered it. It's about hiding mistakes, or lies, or uncomfortable truths that would undermine public trust. Operation Neptune's Spear is a perfect example of this ambiguity. Was it a brilliant special operations raid that showcased American military superiority? Or was it a coordinated agreement between two governments, dressed up as a daring mission to maintain political narratives on both sides? We may never know the full truth. The files are classified. The key witnesses are bound by non-disclosure agreements. The physical evidence, bin Laden's body, was disposed of within hours. But the fact that we're even asking these questions, the fact that a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist with impeccable sources is willing to stake his reputation on calling the Pentagon liars, that should tell you something. Black Ops missions happen every day. Right now, somewhere on this planet, American Special Operations Forces are conducting missions the public will never hear about. Some are heroic, some are necessary, and some might be darker than we want to imagine. Operation Neptune's Spear killed Osama bin Laden. That's certain. But whether it happened the way we were told is another question entirely. And that's the mission the Pentagon won't talk about. Not the raid itself, but the truth behind it. The truth they buried at sea, along with bin Laden's body. If this story changed how you think about what really happened that night in Abbottabad, if you believe the American public deserves the full truth about Black Ops missions conducted in their name, if you want to see more classified operations exposed and examined, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel, because there are more missions like this. More operations where the official story doesn't add up. More secrets buried in classified files. More truths that powerful institutions don't want you to know. The Pentagon has created a 60,000-person secret army conducting operations in 120 countries. And they're not telling us what they're really doing, but we're going to find out. One classified mission at a time.